So it really looks like this isn't having any sort of real dirt on it. Like, it just does not, this does not scream, you know, I'm filthy, clean me, please. I mean, this might, a little bit. I'll at least wipe these off. I'll just take paper towel and I'm just not even gonna, oh, there's nothing even coming off on this. This may be a very brief service, you guys. If I look at the other sides of these, yeah, all the oil has just totally evaporated. It's nowhere to be seen on either side of this. Okay, well, we'll just see what's going on here. Is there any sort of, okay, that's off. Let's see if that needs a wipe down. Well, there's oil coming off on this wheel. Okay, at least there's that. This is probably the most cleaning I'm going to do here, guys. I don't really see much point in going beyond this. Let's see here. What else can we do? What else can we clean? I'll take the rotor and stator out and give that a wipe down as well. Yeah, there's just a tiny little bit of oil coming off, but just barely anything. And this stator, by the way, it's made of like, this feels like rubber. This feels like hard rubber. That doesn't even feel like fiber or anything else we've seen on other clocks. And I think is that the same pinion that Intermatic timers use right there? Is that the same pinion that always goes wrong on these things? You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever played with Intermatic timers? This is in the same realm. This is better than that as far as servicing goes, but I feel like it's in the same ballpark. Those Intermatic electrics. Okay, this is metal. Plastic on metal. Yeah, there she is. I'm going to be putting this back together before long. Just dabbing oil on it. The dab and go. It's a take apart dab and go. Oh yeah, there's that whole mechanism there. The alarm. Let's see if anything comes off on this. There's actually a slip clutch on this wheel here. Let's see if I move the camera away from that. You can see, you know, this is moving independent of that brass piece. That's exactly what it does. That's meant for setting the time. See, look at that. If we didn't come in here, we wouldn't have seen that. And we wouldn't have known that, you know, this could use some oil on it. Great, this thing may run silent by the time we're done with it. Okay. What else is going on in here? This is very neat. This stuff looks like it's just... Let's see, can I move this? Or is this just stuck on here? There's that bar. That looks like it's pressed in or whatever. There's that alarm mechanism thing. I don't know if that'll pop off or not. I don't have... Well, you know, I only want to tempt this so much before just going, okay, I'm backing off. Oh, or I guess I can just slide it out too. That should work. Okay, well, we'll give that a quick wipe. Again, I'm not even using like any sort of cleaner or anything like that. I literally just bought like Zenith clock cleaning solution. You know, just for my actual real deal stuff I care more about. And here's the alarm trip wheel. And also hour pipe, I think. Anyway, yeah, I bought the Zenith, the final rinse, and the whichever Zenith is the red one. It's the clock cleaner. Actually, I have the jug right here. Let's see here. It's the Zenith Radiant stuff. It's that red one there. And yeah, that was bought for stuff way more, you know, serious than this. Okay, well now we've got the whole, that's it, that's the whole thing. I mean, there's the coils here, but that looks like it's, yeah, that's riveted on, so I'm not worried about that. I think there's a screw that goes right in the middle of that. All these pivots look like they could use a dab of oil. I don't see much point in oh yeah, this stays on. That's fine. I don't see much point in, what the heck was I saying? Oh yeah, dabbing oil in here. Not that you even would anyway. What the heck was I saying? Oh, Sorry, guys, I'm having a stroke. I don't see much point in taking a toothpick and just pegging out these pivot holes here. They're clearly like they're clearly supposed to be like sealed bearings or whatever. Okay, then there's this, which is up against this bar here, so I'll put that back the same way once I'm done. Oh, there's a spring on that. This wheel, I'm not going to bother. Actually, why am I even taking that apart? There's no point to that, because that won't come off. I'm not going to pull this off, because that may never go back on, or, you know, it may break. Who the heck knows what happens. And, of course, that is on there. Okay. I almost wish I didn't even pull on this knob now. I can always push it back on, but yeah. You only need to take these off if, you know, let's say this wheel had like something over top of it that was attached to this plate. Then you can't get the thing apart. But in this case, we're fine. There's nothing here on this side that really needs any sort of great work. So I'm just going to, yeah, dab some oil on all this stuff. We're going to glue that pillar back on, and then we should be set. I've actually just taken the little directional arrow indicator thing off, and found some dirt in this pinion here, so I wipe that out with, you know, more paper towel. And then I guess what I'll do is just use my white lithium grease, or not white lithium grease, my blue lithium grease lightly, you know, on areas like this where I can tell there was some grease application, or where, you know, where there should be grease. That is my grease of choice. And I'll use my Mobile OW-40 on this as well, my oil of choice. So again, I'm seeing more spots where, you know, there's been friction over time, and I'm just gonna grease those areas. Those like these 2 points have been rubbing up against this track here. I think that is more than enough grease right there to deal with that whole thing, because this is going around and around and around every hour. You know, that is, or every 12 hours or whatever it is. I think it's 12 hours. You know, that is getting scratched up. So I'm going to throw that back on there. And then, let's see here what comes next. I think it was this wheel. Or which wheel was that now? I think this goes on top. Or no, it was this one and then that one. Okay. We're going to oil this as well. Dab some oil in that slip clutch. Oops. There she is. I'll do some on that side and do some on that side as well. Let's try to get it in there. And I think what came next was that... Oh no, I think this thing came next. Whatever this thing is. This alarm trip thing. Only technical terms here, folks. Let's see, where was that on the old... Okay, I think I've got this mechanism here right. I'm not sure. There's a tab underneath this that, or this is the tab, sorry. And I don't know if it goes under this wheel. I don't think it does. I'm just kind of trying to figure out how that quite goes together. I think we've got it right, though. This tab here sits on top of this wheel. As for all the pivot holes, we will go and we will oil them from the inside. There's all the one side there. I think that's all of them. And then we'll do the other side. Let's see here. Yeah, there's that. Everywhere we can. And there we are. So we've just had the main drive pinion on this thing crack and turn to dust on me. So what we'll do is we will go with our theory from earlier, and we're going to try and pull one out of an intermatic timer. And we're going to see if we can do a transplant here. This thing was really not wanting to run once I put it together. It seemed to just, I don't know, this pinion just, this whole thing just seemed to be jamming up all the time, and I could not get this to work properly. There were a few inconsistencies with the way I was assembling it. It wasn't quite, you know, correct, but we kind of ironed all that out, and now, yeah, this thing has just completely shattered on me. So I'm going to hope that those intermatic timers, again, I stockpiled a bunch of them, just in case a scenario like this were to happen. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, for $6 or whatever, not the end of the world. But that would really suck if that was the end of this.
Sacrifice, 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 sacrifice.
There's one gone. You've probably never seen a more violent intermatic timer opening in your life, but unfortunately, yeah, I think this kind of calls for it. Let's see here. This is in working condition, but that's not what we're after. We're after that in there. And if only I could get the darn thing open. I think we're going to use a bit of old-fashioned force here. I drilled all the pillars out. And now you get to watch me just completely destroy this thing. I am wearing goggles, guys. Do not take me too seriously, but I am wearing. Yep. I am wearing goggles, though, guys. Don't completely take me as a total buffoon, even though I may be one. Oh boy. Holy smokes. I don't know what's in the corner there, but something's really holding that together. Holy crow. Where was there another hole I needed to drill in this thing? Something's, again, this thing here, something's over here, but I don't know what. I might just drill a whole bunch of holes in that corner until it lets go. This is beginning to look like a crime scene, and I'm sure on some level of reality it is. There's plastic absolutely everywhere. This has been just completely decimated. The movement fell out. We're gonna get in there, cut the main drive gear out of the. You'll see what I'm talking about. In the meantime, the coil is significantly smaller than it used to be, and if I ever need to repair one of these intermatics, I can just go in here and go and switch motors out. I can see the leads there. That's how they have them set up in these newer models. If you watch my previous intermatic series, you'll know why I'm paying attention to all these details. I almost did this in that series, but now the time has arisen. I'm gonna keep this case just as a souvenir. This is too funny. I think the timer I just desecrated is actually the newest intermatic I've dismantled. And by checking out the inside of this looks like the same. Well, it looks like they've upgraded the oil sink in these things. This is a different oil sink than what I previously remember. Maybe the design. Well, the design has most definitely changed. If that's there, that is not there on the older ones. As for this thing, let's see. Is this going to be too? Is this not going to fit on here? Let's try and align that. Can't do it anything single-handedly. There we go. Okay, so that's a bit big, but I mean, this is like the same piece. This is almost the exact same diameter. Might be able to glue that in place on this gear here, or on the rotor. And my suspicions are proved correct. This gear and this gear have the same tooth ratio. So this means that this can be driven off of here. Isn't that fun? Look at that. Try and do that one more time there. So there it is. That will work. As long as that's... well, this is going to have to be cut. Like, this whole thing is going to have to be cut, and that gear is going to have to be extracted from there. So, great. Let's continue. Well, this clock has been driving me absolutely crazy. I gave up and bought a reproduction pinion gear. I'll link that in the description below. Someone on the NAWCC put me on that. I made a forum post, and you can rely on the forum to generally get back to you on even something as goofy as this. But you know what? It is what it is, guys. And yeah, so I bought that new gear, stuck it in there. And the only thing it won't do now is I have to shake it to get this thing started. I'm not sure exactly why it's not automatically starting like it was earlier. Maybe that's the new gear. Maybe that's even the grease I put inside. I'm not completely certain. It doesn't seem to want to stop after I start it. It was stopping I've rebuilt this thing a few times now, and sometimes it'll stop and sometimes it won't. I'm also about $55 out of, or I think it was 50, around $50 out on this thing. Just getting that gear off of eBay and getting it shipped here and everything. That was about 50 Canadian. So if I was you, if I could go back in time and do this again, here's the game plan. I would take the movement out of the case. I'd dab oil on the pivots, reach my oiler in there and get it, oiled up. Probably put some grease or oil on the original pinion gear and then stick this thing back in its case. These all plastic movements, well, actually I shouldn't say all plastic. It's half metal, half plastic. In this case, there's really no point in, applying the traditional clock principle to it, where you just, clean oil, etc., etc. These were made to a much lower standard, and these don't have the same problems all the time as a traditional mechanical or older electric clock. Sometimes they just don't have these issues. But it's all done now. It's said and done. And if I know for next time, if I ever get another one of these, I'll have a protocol sort of in mind. But I've definitely learned lots from this. So, I mean, is that really... I think that probably is the most important thing. Again, this was stopping earlier, but it doesn't seem to be now. There's that pendulum. That pendulum is addicting to watch, really. This is such a fun novelty clock. And that's why I decided to, cough up the cash to get a hold of that pinion gear. And again, congratulations to that guy for cooking up a good gear that actually works in these things. This clock is by no means worth that gear, like monetarily. This was a stupid decision, but I don't think it was a stupid decision. I think this is cool, and I'm happy to see this run again. It's got a nice loud buzzer alarm there. I don't know if you heard that earlier. Maybe I did it at some other point during this. Listen to that. That's basically the same volume as the Telechrons. And yeah, even if I have to shake this thing to start it, I mean, that's not the end of the world. And just to show you what I'm talking about when I say I have to shake it to start it, like, okay, I'll apply power here now, and you can hear it rumbling a bit. Nope, it didn't work that time. Not a perfect system, but I don't think it'll stop necessarily. Let's hang out here and watch it for a little bit. Maybe we'll find out if it'll stop or something like that. Definitely a nice piece of wood paneling, and well, actually, that's this specific model. There's a whole bunch of other ones that you can get. Ones that look more mid-century, ones that look more 70s than this one. There's all kinds of crazy designs I saw on eBay when looking for a parts clock. I admit I did go that way, and just to see what the prices were like. And they're all fairly high for models like this, so you're better off just going to a garage sale or buy it at a local auction like I did. So there we have it, you guys. I'll update if anything else happens with this, and I thank you for watching the series. Hope you learned something. I know I definitely did.